So in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Rob.
How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
Good to be back here again.
I miss you.
We're going to do another weekly dose.
Another weekly dose. Of course, we're still
isolated.
Or are we, Rob? Or are we? Or do you?
You're in the next room.
Well, I was going to say, do you and I secretly live together? There's been no better halves walking across the screen. So for everybody knows, we could be living together and just cohabitating, of course, and basically we're in the next room, we're living together, but we're just trying to be interesting, topical.
Except my better half was just at the window there.
Oh no! But that, you know what? We could have paid somebody to do that. Just let you know, I
my coat here.
I am drinking wine from a cup. So
from a coffee cup?
Yeah, kind of nice. Delphi cup. Is it Delphi? Yeah, China. I don't know how you know these things.
So, news. The news is pretty quiet again this week.
It's pretty quiet.
But there are a couple. There are a couple little tidbits.
Tidbits, indeed. I have.
I have two myself.
Only two, Rob.
Only two.
Holy Jesus.
But they're a pretty good two.
Okay, well, I'll be the judge of that, probably. Well, I won't be the judge of it, I'll tell you.
And I don't know about you, but I definitely need a haircut.
I think you'll find that today
it's getting bad.
Well, I saw you earlier on. You did look, I would like to say Fraggle Rock. But
like a Muppet?
There was something come up a day about you, yeah, for sure. There was something, it works, I'm not going to say it doesn't work. But you're moving away from Iggy Pop to something else. I was going to say something rude there, but I'm not. So
what's your first story, Chris?
Jesus, Rob, mine isn't as much as a story. Well, I suppose it is a story in a sense. I'm going to turn around to my computer, so you should never put your back to the camera, is not to say. Let me just see here. I'm going to show you what it is now, if I can get it up. You see, I'm so, as we well know, I'm so organised. Okay, I've been noticing that it's a kind of a good news story, that there's been a bit of a push to support Photobook stores worldwide.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there's been a push in several different fronts. And of course you read that and you're like, of course that's, we all have our struggles. But then I started going on. I made the awful mistake of going on to the wonderful list. There's about 20 that takes you through Berlin, New York, Singapore, I think, Britain, of course. And I went on to just have a look and see what the crack was. There's been a few people who've been very good to me. I'll not mention any names. One of them is very fraggly, coincidentally. But I was going on to try and see if there was anything I could get to pass over as thanks. And then you get lost in a world of photo books. So the world of news became the world of something else. But I'll mention a couple of these because it's two I've been on all of them, but two that kind of stood out for me. One is Beyond Words, which is seems to be based in England, and it's all free UK deliveries over £100. £100 these days would be. What are we talking about?
2 books.
Yeah. What does that work out at? We worked out at something last week. I can't remember what it was. We weren't talking pounds last week. We were talking something else. It wasn't beans. Was it beans? No, it was some bottles of wine. Maybe it was wine. But anyway, £100 is a lot of wine. But this is they shipped it around the world. Specialist seller of photo books since 1998. So they've been going a while.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's nice because
good to support.
Yeah, you know what? Whenever you go in, you start seeing it. It's they have the usual all categories, documentary, calendar. Strange enough, wasn't quite sure about that, but anyway, and there's a couple of decent ones. Signed, limited edition, sale, and special second hand, which I always like. I like.
Really?
Yeah, I like a book.
That's cool.
I like a book's been thumb through, but it's.
And we'll put the link.
We'll put the link down, and I think it's it comes from, which is my other story, which isn't really a story, but. Let me just get to the second one here. So that's the first one, which is Beyond Words. The second is Tippy Bookshop, which probably everybody knows anyway. And then we have Build Band, and I'm probably pronouncing that completely wrong. It's in Berlin, and they have an absolutely cracking selection of photo books. It's kind of I've been a big fan of Photobook store, but kind of what they're saying is that, you know, rather than going to Amazon, you know, and buying yourself. I was looking at one here, Helga Paris Leipzig, and I can't remember pronounce the second name because I'm absolutely rubbish. But it's called Helga Paris, 1981-1982. It's €20. It is how many images? 80, I think. And it's just absolutely cracking. €20. Sure, how could you not support somebody for, you know what I mean?
20 bucks is cheap.
$20 is cheap. Now,
cheap for anything.
Whenever you add the shipping from Berlin, it puts it up a wee tiny bit. I think you're up near 30 at that point. But sure, and if you go on to Amazon, the book I think is costing you 34. So I would kind of urge anybody who is, because we have lots of time in our hands, and what better thing to do than go on a wee adventure and the photo books.
Take a book out into the garden and
it's super. So if we can,
great.
Well, the thing is that, you know, these people can fold. I imagine there's people waiting for money, all sorts of stuff. So,
and their online stores are actually working right now.
Yeah. Well,
there's somebody there manning them.
Seems to be. I put stuff in and I went to purchase, and they were ready to go. So I'll put links down for the whole thing, not just the three I mentioned there, Tippy and Bill Band and our first one. But it's for me that's kind of a nice nice story, because it's one of those things. Excuse me. You don't really think about the support. You know, I've been on Amazon trying to buy myself a pair of harem pants. I'm not going to be going anywhere.
What kind of pants? Sorry,
harem pants. I'm sure you're
harem.
Harem, yeah. Do you say harem? I say harem. Let's call the whole. Let's call the whole thing off.
MC Hammer pants?
Very, very much MC Hammer. I can't wait. I can't wait to the land. That and a granddad shirt. I can't leave the house for 3 months, so I'm going flat out. I'm going to be my own man in my own garden. What do you think of that?
Great.
That's 2 stories there.
So that's 2, yeah.
Yeah. Well, breaking news, the second one, the harem pants.
The harem pants, yeah. My goodness.
Well.
So here, I'll tell you my story.
Good.
It's another Sony story.
Oh, what have they done now?
They're donating $100 million.
Super duper.
To relief for healthcare professionals, educators, school kids, as well as creative professionals in the entertainment industry.
Shut up. That's me.
Yep.
That's me. Why do I ring them? What do I do?
Well, so depending on what sector of photography you're in, you might be eligible.
Jesus.
They're also, it's a gray zone right now. They're not sure how this is going to work, but supposedly Sony employees can do a matching gift program with this too. So I don't know, somehow they're going to end up donating even more.
Christ.
So that's a great idea. And again, you know, we had Netflix, we've got Sony, we've got Adobe, we've got all these other smaller companies giving, you know, big percentages of discounts on different products and stuff. So it's all pretty good. I mean, people are stepping up.
Well,
it's nice to see.
Sony 100 million. I'm sure it's not a massive amount to Sony, but we don't know where things are going. So it's definitely a punt for them.
No, I know it's not a massive amount to Sony, 100 million, but you got to think like who is it? Format, you know, the website company.
This is my.
They're putting.
Go ahead. 25 mil.
They're put 25 grand.
Oh, 25 grand. So what did I say? 25 million.
Yeah, no, 25 grand. They're just a small company. It's not.
No,
they're not Squarespace or anything.
Yeah.
But they're putting up 25 grand.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, you know, not the only people that are going to apply for this stuff, hopefully, are the people who are really in need.
No, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so if they divvy that up into $500 allotments, you think that, you know, $500 it could be a good portion of somebody's rent for a month.
Yeah, absolutely. Like food
on their studio or whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, it all makes a difference.
Well, I think actually the format one was one of my go-tos, and it's been bandied about a lot on online. You know, there's loads of nice stuff happening where loads of people are sharing stuff. and the people who are sharing maybe, well, some of the guys I know aren't in any, they're not in any dire need, but they're definitely putting the word out there. But 500,
Yeah.
Rob, as you say, 500, it's not even, it's
To
not,
make the difference in somebody's world.
it can make, but you know what, it makes a difference, because I actually went in to look at it and I went through the questions, and it's pretty straightforward. It's just name, what area of photography you work in, your website, but also then they ask, what will the money be for? So you've got an opportunity to actually just be straight, and it's confidential. So you can say food, I'm sure you can say studio, I'm sure you can say mortgage, I'm sure you can say rent, whatever you want. But I think the benefit of that is, if you come off it, it's kind of like a hug. You know what I mean? You feel as though there are people out there, and as you say, they're not Squarespace. They're not Wix, but they're putting out like 25 grand. Isn't I'm sure to a company like that, it probably,
It's still a bite.
it's still a buy, yeah, 100%. Okay, no, that's nice, and those are the things I think that I've been really, really, really taken on board. That has been that people now. I don't want to go on about Shackleton because I know it's a joke every week, but if my heating went off, one of those coats would keep me warm for ages. Do you know what I mean? And the children.
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
So 3, 4?
Yeah, but 3 or 4, the whole family. What a photograph that would be.
Are they listening? Are they listening?
Well, I've certainly hashtagged enough Shackleton stuff in me in the last couple of weeks. But think of this, right? I don't want to be flippant, okay? But think of this. Think of that photograph. You know what I mean? Me, my very beautiful wife, very photogenic, beautiful kids. It's almost an advertisement. I'd ruin it ever so slightly, but if I had the coat over me,
and the hood up,
and my very Arctic face. Ruddy, my granny would have said Ruddy, quite Scottish.
maybe if you're actually behind the camera,
Jesus, Rob, that's
taking the picture.
That is just what I want. Do you know what I do, Rob? I'm going to say this out loud. I include myself in family photographs, not by being in the photograph, but a friend of mine, Tim Weir, very good artist, working in Game of Thrones, did a couple of portraits of me. So I would sometimes place the portrait in the photograph. So it's kind of me. It's not me. It's not.
Very Chris Buck of you.
It's very Chris Buck of me. I have to say, I have to go down that road. But just a Shackleton hour. Listen, I don't want to take too much of our time with Shackleton every week, but it would seem wrong not to beg them for a warm coat.
So what's your next story?
Well, my next story was actually going to be format, but let me just move on to something else.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't, Rob. I like that we don't, so the listeners can know that we don't contact each other too much to discuss what we're going to talk about. I believe that Reeves and Mortimer do a similar thing, as did Mortimer and Wise. Yeah. Mortimer and Wise did the same thing. It's kind of a, not that I'm saying we're comedians, but we're not far off it. Okay, the next thing for me, excuse me, I'm leaning over here quite wildly, quite dramatically. So someone would say, you'll see whenever you get this. I'm trying to hold my stomach in, which is hard. Bear with me a second. I hope I haven't. Oh, here we go. This is nice, okay? And this is a website. It's not a story. Well, it's a story. Everything's a story nowadays, isn't it? And it's called Photopedagogy, and it is.
Say that slowly.
I'm not just gonna say it, Rob. I've decided. I did this, look, because my pronunciation is so pure. Are you ready? Listen.
Pedagogy.
You listening? Right. Listen to this.
Pedagogy.
I could do that slow as well. Pedagogy. Okay. So. Right, so where are we? Right, so this is called Photopedagogy, okay, and it is an online resource, and it is the Photopedagogy website, and it's created by photography teachers for photography teachers, and it seems to be American. But listen, this is the way I like it. There's loads of lesson plans, loads of stuff. It talks about tape.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really nice. If you have kids and you're homeschooling and you're wanting to kind of get away from the maths and the literacy, and I know we get into the art department, it's full of stuff, full of interesting stuff. You can kind of get lost in there, and not just for young kids. There's stuff to be taken away for lesson plans. I've been going mad at it, and it just takes you through lots, stuff. I don't know, going kind of from the, going from kind of pretty sensible stuff through to to stuff that is more abstract. So it takes you can kind of go on it shows you steps on a very easy journey to take an idea and and run with it. Not a story you're thinking. Maybe you're not thinking that. I don't know. I can't say we should have FaceTimed.
That's interesting though.
Yeah.
That's
It's brilliant, and
But do you have to be a teacher or an instructor to be able to log into this thing?
No, I'm going to click some. I'm going to click some stuff. There's a blog, which is really nice. There's also a threshold concepts. There are resources. The Royal Photographic Society is there. Lesson plans. KS34. That maybe means something to you. I don't know. It kind of sounds American to me. Photo literacy, writing, class photographies. What is photo literacy? It takes you through create, evaluate, analyze, apply, understand, remember. It's got kind of everything that you would kind of do.
Wow.
It's, you know what?
Seems comprehensive.
It's comprehensive. It's nice done. It's very simple, but it is one of those things where you are, I'm doing stuff with Patrick. He's 7, and it is one of those things where you can kind of, if you think you know what you're doing, there's kind of pointers where it's just good fun. There you go.
Cool.
Photo pedagogy. Not nice?
Nice. Okay, moving on to my last story.
Not your last story, Rob. Only 2 stories. 3 stories. You'd format you through one and then you'd 3.
We're running out of time.
Okay, go ahead, quick. Sorry.
So, that Chinese company called Godox has just announced a battery-operated pack and head system called the AD1200Pro. So it's priced in around $1,600 or £1,300 for 1,200 watt seconds. That is a steal. That's a steal.
Well, are they poking at Pro Photo? Obviously.
Not at that price point.
No,
Not at that price point. That's way below Pro Photo.
No, that's what I mean. But what I'm saying is they're obviously because I have some Godox stuff and I'd seen that you put on a thing on Facebook about just chats about it.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think it's a reasonable enough?
Listen to the specs.
Yeah.
Between 480 and 500 full power pops. Okay, and a battery. 480 to 500, 1,200 watt second pops.
That's nice.
You can charge a battery in 2 hours.
Christ.
The LED modeling light, it's 40 watt LED, super bright.
Okay.
It's got a 12-foot cable, head cable.
Okay.
It does HSS. It has 2 different sizes of batteries, full-size battery and a smaller battery that's safe for air travel.
Okay. Well, I was going to say the air travel stuff is important.
Yeah. And the only thing is it's a Bowens mount. Now, I've looked at the stuff online, and the head design is pretty horrendous.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bad head.
Yeah.
I mean, the LED modeling light is well recessed beyond the flash tube, so the flash tube sticks out way beyond the modeling light.
Okay.
It's got a clear Pyrex.
Yeah.
Should really have a frosted Pyrex, especially when the modeling light and the flash tube are not on the same plane whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the head sits on the stand way forward.
Okay. I noticed that myself. Yeah.
So there's no weight.
Yeah.
The weight of the head isn't even directly, when there's no reflector on it, isn't directly over the stand.
Okay.
It's out in front of the stand.
Big.
So it's a really sort of archaic design. I don't want to say poorly designed head, but I mean, what I'm thinking is that if this pack is reliable in any way, shape, or form, and the voltage is anywhere close to the Pro Photo Acute system, people are going to adapt the Pro Photo heads to this power pack.
But you can adapt.
And it will. Pardon me?
You can adapt the heads, can you not?
Well, as long as the triggering voltages are close.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to have to put a transformer in the line.
Okay.
So they use the old style Bowens Braun color Ellen Chrome bar connector on the power pack.
Okay.
So you would need that connector, a cable, a transformer, and then a female ProPhoto connector on the end, and then you could plug in your ProPhoto Acute,
Okay.
or if it's even possible, the ProPhoto Pro heads, the studio heads.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would be absolutely amazing. Because I mean, to have 1200 watt seconds, HSS, high speed sync,
Yeah.
with that sort of capacity of battery
Yeah.
is just incredible. It would be totally, because ProPhoto, the thing is there's a huge gap in the market for the ProPhoto right now.
Huge.
Because ProPhoto's been doing self-contained heads
Yeah.
for, that's where they've been pushing all their market, is into the self-contained, into the B1, the B2s,
Yeah.
well, no longer the B2s, the B4s, no longer the B4s.
Yeah.
So ProPhoto needs to come out with some sort of battery unit. And in the meantime, this is sitting here. Well, this will be here in a couple of months.
Well, how much? What's the difference? What are you talking price-wise for a ProPhoto? You're talking, well, more than double, aren't
Well,
you?
ProPhoto doesn't make anything like this anymore.
Yeah.
So the only thing that they made even remotely close to this would have either been the Pro B3 1200 watt second unit,
Yeah.
which was like, I can't remember, $7,000, let's say, $7,000 for the pack.
That's the 3.
Yeah, and it wasn't and then they had the B4 pack, which was even more than that.
Yeah.
It did amazing things, but that pack only lasted 2 years.
But Rob,
This thing,
no, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, this thing at this price point, a couple extra batteries, and even if you had to make that pigtail transformered
Yeah.
cable to
Yeah.
adapt it to ProPhoto,
Yeah.
it's still that. I mean, you could buy 2 or 3 packs, for the price of 2 packs at least for the price of a used B3.
But they're not going to go. Godox aren't going to sell something at £1,300 that isn't going to have a sense of reliability. I know what you're saying because I went flash. No, I know. Listen, I went flash for the Sony. I went to the round head. I can't. It's out of my head what it's called. It was £300 or £400, but it was. It's. I think it's super.
See, I won't get into the long
No, I
discussion
know,
about reliability and where how ProPhoto got their leg up in the market by going into the rental department with super reliable units. But that's what Godox needs to be.
Yeah.
It needs to be super reliable.
Yeah.
And it's not like it never goes down. My ProPhoto units that I've had for
I know
20 years
I get you.
never go down.
It's a total I have to say, because you've been very kind, and you've let me loose with some stuff, and it is, I have to say, it's one of those things that's completely out of your head whenever you're using it. There's no worry.
But to have that pack with HSS, with all the battery power on a ProPhoto head with all the ProPhoto modifiers, I think it's just a super winning combination.
Yeah.
And with that, I hate to cut it short, but that's my last story.
No, Rob, is it? And what time have we? How many seconds have we left? None.
I've got about 30 seconds.
Oh dear, because I wanted to talk about, very briefly, a thing you came across, which is, you probably know this already, which is, where are we? Conscientious photo magazine. You've heard of it? No?
Okay.
It's J.M. Kohlberg who did the Understanding Photobooks. So it's his gig, and it's magic. It's absolutely magic. Go in and have a read. It's just it's nicely written. There you go.
We'll put the link in the description.
Put the link in the description. It's lovely.
Chris, it's been great.
Well,
We got to do this again.
well, let's do it. I would say let's do it every week until Shackleton or ProPhoto or somebody gives me some sort of thing to hold up in front of a camera and smile in these hard times.
All right, Chris.
Okay, bud.
We'll talk to you later.
See you soon, man. Bye.
All right, thanks. Bye.
I'm going to check the back of my camera still. Yes.
Got probably 2 minutes. Black bush. I've dug into the props.
Dangerous times.
Okay, so
Okay.
we are 8:35:33 34, 35, 36, 37. If you go to speakerphone so I can clap in front of your
What's it
microphone.
doing? Yeah, hold on 2 seconds.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead, you're at it. Go ahead.
51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59.
That's one.
Okay.
That's one giant leap for mankind.
So you ready to go?
I'm rock and rolling. I look good. I'm just trying not to. I don't want to slouch anymore because I look